right, guys. So, welcome back to the program. It's a beautiful Monday morning. I want to say special good morning to my friends and subscribers in Trinidad and Tobago. Today is actually V Day in Trinidad and Tobago, which is V for what? Voting. And so, you are to go out today and do your civic duty, that is to cast your ballot for your candidate of choice and look forward to the PNM return to power or the UNC taking office. According to the Trinidad Express, there's approximately 1.1 million electors or 1.2 million eligible to do so today to vote. And V for Victory, which only one political party will celebrate later tonight. The magic number is 21, and there being 41 seats up for grabs in the electoral contest. Voting starts at 6 a.m. sharp and ends at 6 p.m. And all persons who are in line at the polling stations by 6 p.m. will be able to cast their ballots to over 1,600 polling divisions in the country, or to over 1,600 polling divisions in the country. Now, there are several contenders in the race, 17 political parties, 161 candidates, three of which are independent, and of course, the ruling People's National Movement and the opposition United National Congress are the main contenders. I think for the last 10 years, they have held it between them, all the seats in the parliament, which at the dissolution of the parliament stood at 23 for the PNM and 19 for the UNC. The UNC is a part of a coalition of interests fighting in this election, while the PNM goes solo as its tradition, it does traditionally. And there are other notable parties within the race. Of course, there is the Patriotic Front headed by Michaela Pandey, which is contesting 37 seats, while in Tobago there is a four-way battle between the PNM and the Tobago People's Party headed by Fadi Augustine, Progressive Democratic Patriots led by Winston Duke, and the Innovative Democratic Alliance headed by Dr. Denise Angus for the two Tobago seats. So go and do your civic duty. Here's an update on what's happening in Guyana. And I'm going to talk about this before I talk about the earthquake in St. Vincent last night. Listen, Mia Motley once said that we only talk about corruption in governments. What about corruption in our own communities? Why do I bring this up? In Tushan, in Guyana, the death of the 11-year-old girl, very, very sad occasion in Guyana. This issue at this hotel is not the first time. A matter of fact, in 2012, the parents of this young man you're seeing on screen here, Sadiq Juman, the parents had suspected foul play in the death of the young mechanic at the time, and they were saying that it sounds eerily the same. Relatives of Juman, whose lifeless body was fished out of a popular double-day hotel swimming pool 42 hours after he was reported missing, and contending that the young man was murdered. 20-year-old Junani mechanic resided with his parents at Blankenberg, West Coast, Demerara. So, of course, you can see right away he doesn't come from Tushin. The thing about that hotel is that everybody in that village works basically at that hotel. So everybody knows what is going on at that hotel. And this issue with this young man in 2012 sounds eerily similar to what took place in 2025. My thing is, the father spoke, and he spoke at length about the hotel and his gut feeling telling him what's happening in the hotel. The thing is, for me, this is what transpires, and this is not to diminish the death of the young girl because it's a sad moment. But what I'm saying here is that as a community, sometimes if we know things are happening, we see things happening, and we don't put a stop into it, it could only go as far as coming to our doorstep. And this is what happened. Everybody apparently knew what was taking place in that hotel over the years. Nobody apparently wanted to put a stop to it because apparently nobody who got injured or died or whatever came from that area, specifically in Tushin. It seems like everybody came from the outside of that area. So nobody really paid attention. They didn't really care, but they knew what was taking place inside there. And so when it hit home, everybody went, they burned it down, they burned the home owner, the owner's home. It's just a sad situation right through and through. And I understand today the autopsy is taking place with an American pathologist. But we have to sometimes speak up when we see things are happening around us, or else it could hit our doorstep. I just wanted to point that out because it's the same MO that's happening here with this young lady. When I head over to St. Vincent, there was an earthquake last night, and between Barbados and St. Vincent. You can see on the screen where it's centered there, and it really shook up some people in St. Vincent. I mean, from the north, the south, the east, and the west, people felt it all over. They posted on Facebook. Some people said it was a shaking. They felt it, like felt the shaking. Sometimes earthquakes pass and we don't, but this one they actually felt it. So last night it was around 7:33 p.m. and the magnitude was 4.8, relatively, and there was a latitude 13.25, which St. Vincent at 13.5, and Barbados felt it, St. Vincent, and of course Castries, St. Lucia. But like I said, these are becoming more frequent, and we have more technology, so they're being recorded very quickly. Stay up the pace. As I always say, you can't do anything in an earthquake. There's really nothing you can do per se, except to cover and hide and know what to do after. But you don't know when an earthquake is going to strike, so you also have to be in a kind of a position to know what to do when it appears or when it happens. But guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned to this channel for more information.